Happy Monday. Hey, I am Shamaree and I am a relationship and intimacy coach, and I empower women to get the confidence and pleasure that they deserve so that they no longer settle for lack of satisfaction when it comes to relationships. And I do my weekly Q&As where I answer questions that you guys have submitted to me throughout the week. I do make a little post in my story throughout the week so that you're able to go ahead and submit your questions and things that you want a little bit more information on. If you have questions or anything that you're curious about related to relationships and intimacy, then you definitely want to look out for my story. So you need to go follow me if you're not doing that. And then definitely keep up with my stories, add me to your favorites so you don't miss anything. And you'll be able to submit questions to me, and you'll see every week when I go live, and you'll see all of the other things that I do on my page. So definitely make sure that you're following me. This week, just like normal, I have 4 questions. That's what I've been keeping it at so that these are not super long, and so that I can get you a thorough-ish answer to some of the questions that you guys are interested in learning about. So I have my questions here, and I'm going to go ahead and get into that. So the first one is, first, they want us to know, do women really masturbate, and how much is too much masturbation? And so when it comes to masturbation, yes, women do actually masturbate. That, I don't know if that's still something that people don't know, but yes, women do masturbate. And I understand that it's not as normalized as it is for boys, especially going through puberty. Everyone kind of expects that that's going to happen, even at very young ages, preteen and teenage years. They expect that boys are going to do that once they figure out what it is. Women, girls, they go through puberty as well. They have hormones that are changing and raging as well. So it's normal. It's pretty common. I think that a lot of women and girls do not talk about it just because of how society kind of views it, and just because they want women to be, I guess, more innocent or pure. I don't know. But women masturbate, and it feels good. So even if you see babies, even in utero, people are experiencing pleasure, or it can be soothing. There's a lot of benefits to masturbation. So even if it's not only for sexual gratification, a lot of people do it because it relaxes them. It helps them to go to sleep at night. It can help to reduce stress levels or anxiety. It also helps you to just better know your body. So there's a lot of ways that it benefits you. It does make you more likely to orgasm, and it makes you better able to orgasm when you're with a partner, because you know yourself and you know what you like. And as you kind of explore those different things, that's something that you can share with a partner. So it's definitely normal. It's okay. And when it comes to how much is too much, when it comes to anything being too much, this is completely subjective, and it's going to vary person to person. But I do want to say, in therapy, I'm a therapist. This is not in any way therapy. It's not a substitution for therapy. I'm not your therapist, so this ain't none of that. But I will say, whenever we're assessing a person for any type of condition or circumstance that, like as far as diagnosis, mental health conditions, and things of that sort, we look at it in a way that if this is causing distress, so if this is bothersome to the person, and or if it's negatively impacting like daily functioning. So that can include your ability to take care of yourself. So if you're not eating, or if you're not grooming yourself, if you're not making it to work, or if you're still in school, you're not making it to your classes, if it's negatively impacting your relationships, the way that you're able to interact with people, if you're always in conflict with them because of it, or if you have anything else that's basically like the things that are important to a human being to thrive and be successful and just okay and at peace in life. If it's impacting any of those things, if it's distressing to you, you feel like this is just too much, this is bothering me, I don't like it. Whenever those are the circumstances, that is when we might consider it being too much because it's impacting you detrimentally. So all those benefits that I mentioned before, if the negative is outweighing that, or it feels a little bit more heavy to you, the negative that you get from it, then that might be when it would be too much. But statistically, scientifically, there's no such thing as too much masturbation. So like I said, it's very subjective. It's going to be based on what you as an individual feel, what you experience, and how it impacts you, the people around you, your relationships with them, your ability to work, take care of yourself, and all of those sorts of things. So that's the only time that I would say, okay, maybe we need to take a look at this and maybe we need to change some of our behaviors. But if that's not the case, and if you're doing it 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day and you're fine with it and it's not hurting you in any way, then do you. So I do want to make sure y'all know that, because I feel like I get that a lot, like what's too much, or like, is this okay? And I know maybe you've gotten a lot of negative messaging previously, but I definitely want you to call into question where that message was coming from and if they have ulterior motives for giving you that messaging, and just think about the messenger, and what is it that you believe? What is it that you feel? Because it's really only affecting you and maybe like the people closest to you. Like if you're in a relationship and you're masturbating all the time and you don't want anything to do with them, that may impact your partner. But in no other way does your masturbation really affect anybody else. So it doesn't matter how they feel. How do you feel? And the next question, how do I start to put me first? I do any and everything for other people, but get nothing in return. So this boundaries, I say that all the time because I love boundaries. I love talking about boundaries and telling people that they need to get some and set some boundaries. But this really comes down to boundaries, because people will do what you allow them to do. And when I say that, I don't mean that you are telling them like, this is okay for you to do to me. But indirectly, when we're allowing people to treat us a certain way and we're not saying anything about it, we're not making any changes to our own behavior and the things that we're doing, then that sort of is like a cosign, like, okay, I'm just going to allow it. So for them, there's no reason for them to change. Like, if you're going to do everything, I'm going to let you do everything. And that goes for most people. And they don't have to have ill intentions. They don't have to be a narcissist. They don't have to be toxic. They don't have to be abusive. It could just be, if you're going to wash the dishes and do the laundry every single time, I'm going to let you wash the dishes and do the laundry every single time. And so if you're allowing that, and you never say anything, or you never stop doing the laundry and doing the dishes, that doesn't leave room for them to pick up the slack, right? So I always say it comes down to you setting those boundaries, you putting in what you're expecting from this person. So you have to communicate it. You have to be very clear with that communication, but then you also have to make changes to your own behavior. So if you feel like you're doing everything and anything for them all the time and you're not getting anything in return, what's going to happen if you stop doing that? I feel like a lot of people, especially people pleasers, because this tends to be that type of person, what is it that you're getting from the other person by doing all of these things? Sometimes it's not from them. Sometimes it's from you. You just feel better about yourself if you do that. But if you stopped, what would be different? The dishes might not get done. The laundries might not get done in the day that you want it and the time that you want it to. But does that mean that you're a terrible person? I don't think so. So when you want to set these boundaries, make sure it's also something that you're going to stick to, because ultimately it comes down to you. You can't control that person. If they are not going to pick up the slack, they're not going to pick up the slack. That's when you have to make a decision about whether or not you're going to be okay with continuing as it is. That's on you. But if you're setting these these boundaries and you are serious about them and you make changes, so you say, okay, if I'm gonna do the laundry, then I expect for you to do the dishes. So when the dishes are sitting there at the end of the night, don't do the dishes. You already made it clear that this is an expectation. If they've agreed to it, then that's what it's supposed to be. That's what it should be. People only change when there is a reason to change or if they're forced to change. So if they don't want to, one, which a lot of times, like I said, if you won't do it, I'm gonna let you do it. I'm just gonna let you do it. And I'm a very independent person, but there's some things, if you're gonna do it, I'm gonna allow you to do it. So if they don't want to, which a lot of times they might not want to, like, especially if it's not a fun thing, if it's something that doesn't come easy to them, they might not want to do it. So if that's not there, there has to be a reason to force them to. So if there are no other options, most people, they get the hint. They step in, they step up, especially if they're a grown, mature person. They're gonna step in, they're gonna realize, okay, something's different here. We need to renegotiate how things are gonna work so that we can come to a conclusion that's gonna work for both parties and not just one person. So I think that that's important. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. The answer is almost always boundaries. So I would say that I don't know what the circumstances are specifically, so I can't speak more specifically to your issue, but if you want to give me a little bit more details, you can resubmit the question and I can use more specific details when it comes to your situation. I just use laundry and dishes because those are things that every household has to do at some point. So let me know and we'll kind of readdress that if you do. But I do want to say hello again. I am Shamaree. I'm a relationship and intimacy coach, and I specialize in empowering women to get the confidence and pleasure that they deserve so that they no longer settle for lack of satisfaction, especially in relationships. And I do have a few announcements that I wanted to make before we get to the next few questions. So last time I told you guys I am going to be releasing videos on my YouTube page, more sit-down videos where I'll get into more details and more specifics, especially about the little bit more risque type of things, just because I try to choose my words very wisely on Instagram so I don't get banned or kicked off or something. So if you're looking for that sort of content, so like as far as the does size matter conversation and getting tips for different sizes, as far as how you can make certain things work a little bit better for you, I have plans to do a video for that. I have a couple of videos that I plan to do on the love languages. There's going to be a video about fetishes, kinks, and fantasies, what the differences are, and how you can go about exploring to discover if you have any of those. I also have I think there's something about communication, a little bit more about boundaries because I love boundaries. So there's going to be a lot more stuff there that I get into a lot more detail. Definitely go subscribe. And if you go to the link in my bio here on IG, click on my easy tree. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see all of my social media and you'll see my YouTube there. Go subscribe now, hit the notification bell so that you're notified when I do start releasing those videos. I plan to start recording them this week. This week I'll start recording. So as soon as I have a date for when they're edited and completed, I will let you guys know when to start expecting those. I'll be releasing those every week. I think I'm going to do it on Freaky Friday, like I told you guys before. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I also repost these lives there. So if you've missed any, you don't want to scroll through looking through my content to find it here on Instagram, then you can always go to my YouTube and they're all there. It's all in a playlist too, so it makes it really easy for you to just kind of click through there. You could let it play, catch up, see what you missed, see if I've already answered a question that you have. And even if I didn't, go ahead and send them to me here. But that's coming very soon. I do have some other collaboration sort of things and podcasts that I'll be featured on. Again, anytime I get the graphics and then the notification for that, I will be reposting it here to announce it to you guys, to let you guys know when you can expect those things so that you can tune in live or catch it as soon as it is posted. I also wanted to kind of remind you to, I have my course, Better Sex Guide to Confidence, Satisfaction, and Orgasms Without Faking. If you're interested in that, again, in my Easy Tree, if you go to the link in my bio, all of that's posted there. The journal that I created, it's also posted there. And I have my freebies posted there. So if you want to check out the freebies, see the sort of content that I provide, then check that out first. And then if you still feel like you need a little bit more, then you can go ahead and join my Facebook group. If you're a woman, adult woman, it's an adult women community. But if you are, then you can join the Facebook group, and then I would encourage you to go ahead and get the course. If you're in my Facebook group, you get a discount on the course, so you definitely want to do that before you buy the course. But I think that is really helpful. I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it so far. So if you struggle with confidence, if you struggle with any sort of relationship satisfaction, whether that's communication, boundaries, or if it's just like an intimacy and a sex sort of thing, we cover all of that. So I will walk you through the whole thing. It's self-paced, so you can take it as is best for you. So you can go as slow as you want, you can go as quickly as you want, and you'll have the Facebook group alongside of that, so you can reach out, post in there, and you can get feedback from me. And all the Facebook group, it's free. You don't have to pay anything for it, so I definitely encourage you to join that, get the discount on the course, and then you also have a little bit of access to me. My group coaching program is coming soon though, so if you need more than just the course and you want to actually work with me, then that's coming soon. I'll be posting up a link where you'll be able to do a little bit of a consultation with me, so we can see if we're a good fit or not, and if it's so that we can be very clear on what you're looking for, and then from there we'll be able to determine if you would be a good fit for the program. So all of that's coming very, very, very soon. Like I said, follow me on Instagram, add me to your favorites so you do not miss on any of that. Because you're going to get the information as it's happening. There's a lot of different changes, a lot of stuff is coming, so you definitely want to be on the lookout. But let's get back into the questions. We have a couple more here. So the next one is it weird for a man to have sex toys? And then they followed up like, how should I feel? So young Shamaree would think it's weird, yes. I admit it. I've grown. I've changed. Now I don't, not so much. So I don't know what type of toys these are, so that might also come into play with that. But what I would say is there are toys for men. So if you are looking for strokers and things like that, so that you're not just using your hands all the time, I feel you. I get it. I don't think that's weird. I think it's more of a psychological thing. It's not actually weird. Like if you are a woman and you have sex toys, do you feel like that's weird? I think it's the equivalent. It's just another way to experience pleasure, another way to enjoy yourself. So no, I don't think it's weird. If it's a sex toy that is intended for the women in his life, if that's what he's into, if he's into women, right? So that I don't necessarily think it's weird. Like I said, old Shamaree, back in the day when I was younger, I might have looked at someone weird if that was something that I knew about. However, now being older, if you know that most women don't orgasm from vaginal sex. So if you need toys in order to stimulate your clitoris, I think that is great that he knows that, right? So first of all, because some people don't. So I think that's amazing that he knows and that he is doing something so that he's able to meet that need, right? So that kudos. I would give him credit for that. I would feel a little weird as far as hygiene goes because I'm just that person. I think especially in recent years, we learned that a lot of people don't wash their behinds very well. So I don't know if you're going to wash your toys very well. So in that way, if it's open, if it's something that's been out, I don't know what you've done with it. So that might be the weird part for me personally, just because of how I think and how I am. That's what I would be most weirded out about. But if it was in a package, great, right? Because I don't have to think about, okay, did he clean this? Does he know how to clean this properly? What was this last used for? Like, was it on the floor? Did he have pets? Like, those sorts of questions would go through my mind, just because I know, the whole thing. People don't be showering. They don't be washing when they do get in the shower. So I don't know. So that part I can see you being a little wary on, but just the fact that he has that, I don't think that's weird. That's my personal opinion. You can feel and think whatever you want to think. I don't think it's okay to shame people though. So even if you do think it's weird, don't be rude. Don't be rude about it. Like, just try not to be rude. But I don't think it's weird if a man has a sex toy. That's my answer. And then the last question that I have for today is, I want to move on from my ex, but I never got closure. How do I get closure? If you want the door to be closed, close it. Why are we constantly sitting around waiting for someone else to come close it, waiting to get something from that person before we can do something? Stop. Let's just stop. Because at the end of the day, like I mentioned before, we don't have control over anyone or what they do, if they do anything at all, right? So I'm going to sit here and hope or want closure forever. They may never come back. They may never say sorry. They may never call me again. And I'm just going to be sitting here upset and mad, and unavailable for the potential for something different somewhere else. So if you want the door closed, close it. A lot of times, I don't know, people have this idea of what closure is. It has to be a conversation where you apologize for X, Y, and Z, and maybe I apologize and I say I accept your apology and we'll be friends, or we'll just never talk again. I wish you the best. Like, that has to be the conversation, and that's the only thing that is closure. But it's not. If someone ghosted you, they have shown you that they are capable of this. So even if they did come back, because sometimes they do, but if they do come back, you now know that this person, whenever things happen in their life, that is an action that they take. They will ghost you. So if that's a pattern that you want to continue, I can't tell you not to do that. But just know that that is closure. If they ghosted you, they left, whether it was because they were overwhelmed in their life, they were no longer interested in you, that is your answer. You don't need them to come back and apologize. You don't need them to come back and explain that to you. Understand that people make the decisions in their life based on what's best for them, or based on the information that they have at the time. You can do the same. You know that this person is this way. You know that this relationship is over. That can be closure. The fact that the relationship ended, even if you don't feel good about it, which a lot of times we don't. I get it. I've been there. Not happy that you ended a relationship. It's okay though. Like, you can work through it. It takes a lot of time and usually some effort in order to heal yourself and to move past it. But stop waiting for someone to give you something before you can move. We don't need anyone to give us an apology, anyone to give us an explanation in order to justify us wanting to heal, in order to justify us wanting to move forward. Move forward. Like, time's gonna go by anyway, honestly. So would you rather be in motion of healing, or are you gonna sit there and wait until they say, okay, now you can have your closure, now you can move on? So that's what I would say. You want a door closed, you close it. I'm not gonna wait for somebody else to close it, because they're not gonna do it when I want them to. And I don't really have time for that. So that's how I feel about closure. Like I said, most people think of closure in that way. I don't know exactly what this person thought about closure or what their perspective of closure is, because I get very little information in the questions that are asked. So if you do have follow-up information, or if you wanted to ask something more specifically, then you can definitely go ahead and submit that. I'm going to put the post up in my story again, so you can submit questions. You guys can let me know how you feel, if you have any feedback or anything. And if you are catching the replay and you've made it this far, thank you. Go ahead and hashtag replay down below in the comments to let me know that you are here. But just to wrap up, I do want to let you guys know again, I'm Shamaree, relationship and intimacy coach. If you are interested in any of my services, like I said, follow me, and then make sure you follow all of my other social media. If you are a woman seeking help, definitely join my Facebook group. And when I launch my group coaching program and I post the one-on-ones that I'll be having before that starts, you can definitely reach out to get a consultation with me. You'll have time where you can let me know specifically what your situation is, so you won't get such these general answers, which I think can potentially be helpful, but not as helpful, obviously, as if I'm getting your situation with your circumstances. You can ask follow-up questions. You can go back and forth with me a little bit more, and you can kind of see how I work, to see if that's something that you're interested in. But that is all that I have for you today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Like I told y'all before, I like to bake. I have a cake to make, so I gotta go. But I'll see you guys later. Bye.